Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like the TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today, is the Real Housewives of Dubai, season 1, episode 8. It started off where it left off from last week with Sarah and Brooks arguing about her parenting skills, and Sarah kept telling Brooks that she didn't mean it that way. She didn't mean it that way, and she took it the wrong way. And Brooks says no, she didn't take it the wrong way because she was talking about her parenting skills. And Sarah told Brooks that she was only going by what she told her about her childhood and how she grew up, and she thought that she should be a little bit more loving to her son and not send her son to boarding school. And Sarah was telling Brooks, "You the one asked me for advice," and she was saying, "I can't help it because you didn't like the advice that I gave you." And Brooks said, "No, you was attacking my parenting skills." And they kept on going back and forth, back and forth. And then I think the producers sent Aiden over there, even though she came over there, but I think the producers sent her over there to interrupt the conversation. And she was saying, "Oh, I just came over there to check on you girls, see how you were doing, and let you know that they say the food is ready. The food is ready." And so Sarah got up to leave, and then Aiden said, "You coming, Brooks?" And Brooks got her friends, and she said, "No, I'm not coming. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I've had too much." And then it switched back to the party. And then they were all sitting around the party, all the girls. And then that's when Nina asked. She said, "Where is Brooks?" And then Lisa said, "Well, it was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. I don't know what Brooks is. I don't know what Brooks is. She might be gone." And then so Nina said, "Well, I kind of understand if she left. I kind of understand if she left." She said the way she was talking to me, and I told her I was going through a whole lot of stuff, and she said she didn't care. And Lisa said, "Oh," she said, "she told you like that." She said Brooks shouldn't have told you that if you were concerned about your father and stuff. We don't know why Brooks told you that. And then next thing you know, they all got to dancing around the party and had the engagement party and stuff. And then it switched to the next day where Sergio and Stansbury were talking to the wedding planner coordinator, and she was telling her, that they're supposed to arrive at the church at 3 o'clock, and something else is supposed to happen and some more stuff. And then they got asking, "What about the guests? What about the guests?" And she said, "You gonna invite Aiden?" And she said, "Well, no, Aiden says she can't come. She got a fashion event, a fashion show." And then the wedding planner kind of said it real low. Said, "What about the Brooks lady?" And then her daughter interjected, said, "Oh yeah, I heard Brooks and Sarah screaming and yelling at each other all at the party, and me and my friends were sitting like 3 or 4 feet away from them." And she said, "Well, you don't have to worry about that. I invited Brooks, but Brooks said she's not coming." And then after that, Sergio interjected and said, "Good, good. We don't want no toxic stuff at our wedding. We want our wedding to be everything, everything." And so she said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, I've lost my band member. I lost about 20-something people either due to the COVID restrictions or they had to back out and stuff like that." And so Stansbury was kind of a little bit sad that she had a lot of people had backed out. And then they asked her about Lisa, and she said, "Oh, Lisa says she's not coming too." She said, "Wait, none of the girls coming?" She said, "Well, Sarah and she said Sarah and Nina supposed to be coming." And Sergio, "Oh, that's good, that's good." And then it switched to the next scene where Aiden was doing her fashion show fitting, and she was saying that it was the I think 50th anniversary of the EUA or something like that, and she was saying they asked her to model it and celebrate and stuff like that, and so she was joking around with her son, and she tried to tell her son a joke. She said something about, "Who is this?" And then her son said, "Who?" And she said, "Banana." And then he said, "Who is this?" And he said, "Who is this again?" And he said, "Well, what other way? I'm orange." And he said, "Mom, that's not a good joke. That wasn't a good joke at all." And Aiden thought it was funny, but her son didn't think it was funny. And then they went back to Stansbury. I know it went back to Nina and her husband looking at their new townhouse. and Nina didn't like some of the redesigns that her husband was doing, but he was telling her they had to redesign a floor or a wall, to put in new, wiring. I mean, to put in new lighting, and also to put in new pumps to make the stuff flow better and stuff. And she was saying, well, this is gonna be your house, not my house, because everything that I wanted to decide, you either took it down or throw it off, and it's like that. And she was saying, oh, this could be my own private room. He said, no, this could be part of your room, but it also could be part of my office. And she said, well, you making everything for you. You're gonna have to rebuild. You're gonna have to build me another house, because this house seems like it's your house, and I don't want this house. And then he told Nina, all I hear is complaints. That was her husband. I think his name Mufar, something like that. But anyway, after that, that's when it switched back to Caroline Stansbury of getting ready for her wedding and stuff like that. And she asked, and Sergio asked her how he looked, and then she told Sergio he looked good, but he need to, I guess, zip up his pants, whatever. But he looked real good, and they was walking down the aisle, and then the next thing you know, the minister told them to say their vows to each other, and Sergio said his little speech, and then he pronounced them man and wife, and then Stansbury's daughter, I think her name is, I don't know, I can't remember her name, but anyway, she said a little speech about Sergio and stuff like that, and then it switched back to Lesa and Brooke showing up at Aiden's fashion show, and then Lesa and Brooks got to talking about what happened at the engagement party, and then Lesa told Aiden about, told Brooks about her drinking, and Brooks said she think 50% of what she did was because she was drinking, and the other was because she was upset and stuff like that. And she was saying, well, she thinks she do have to apologize to Nina for what she said to Nina, but she's not going to apologize to Sarah. And then so Lesa told her, well, you need to apologize to both of them. And Brooks said, no, I'm not doing that. And then so she said, well, maybe you need to watch your drinking. And then Aiden came over there to see how they was doing, and she was saying, oh yeah, how y'all doing? She said, oh, we're just talking about what happened at the engagement party and stuff like that. And Aiden said, yeah, Brooks, I was wondering what happened. I wanted to find out what was happening. And she was told, and she was saying, yeah, next time I should have thought about what I did instead of going for the jugular. And then Aiden said, jug. And they said, no, jugular. They both said it. So what is that? That's your throat right here. She said, oh, Aiden will explain it to you later. And then next thing they switched back to the wedding with Stansbury, and they were taking all kind of pictures, and they were having a good time, and Stansbury said she was glad that the people who did show up, they had a good time with her, and they partied with her, and stuff like that. And then the next thing you know, they switched back to the fashion show, and they showed all the fashions, and they showed Aiden going down the runway, walking down the runway, saying how happy she was. And then they showed her son modeling outfit too. And then she said she was so glad that her son is following in her footsteps. But you could tell her son really didn't want to be doing no modeling. But anyway, she said that. And then let me get some water right quick. Okay, the next scene is where Stansbury and her husband Sergio was having a lunch brunch, and she invited some of her friends from her old reality show, Ladies of London. She invited one of her friends was Sophie, Juliet, Christine, and Luke, and she also plus she invited Lesa and Aiden. And so Sophie arrived, and then Juliet, and then Sergio, and and then Lesa arrived, Lesa got ready to sit down. I think it was either Sophie or Juliet asked her, "You seem like you're a little spicy. Are you spicy?" She said, yeah, I'm spicy. You probably like a little spicy, huh? She said, no, I'm extra spicy. I can be extra spicy when I want to. And then she said, well, sometimes you can be spicy, all right, but you got to balance that out. What whoever it was, Juliet or Sophie, they were trying to say on the down low that you can't be too ghetto. You have to balance that out. Or people look at it, but that's why she used the word spicy. She thought she was throwing shade, but she didn't know that Lisa was throwing just as much shade at her, because Lisa was telling her she could, just because she might look like she's a nice and easy person, she's just gonna let you know that if you push her button, she will be able to fight her battles. And I'm looking at this white woman can't even catch on to the shade that Lisa is telling her. I say because I say because she didn't even catch the shade. I mean, and stuff. I'm so glad. And then after that, that's when Luke came and sat down, and she introduced Luke to Lisa and stuff. And she was saying, "Oh, the other one's coming." Then while they were talking, Lisa looked up and said, "Ooh, there go Aiden." Aiden came in that long, pretty pink dress with the split in the back, and she was walking. And then so when she got there, Stansberry introduced her to Aiden. And she said, "This is Aiden," and they said, "Aiden, sit down." So when Aiden got ready to say, "Oh no, you sit down there," so Aiden sat down over there, because Aiden was really trying to sit next to Lisa, but they had to sit next to Luke and the plus one friend he bought. And then so he got down there and said, "Oh, this is the dress that you would have." No, I think it was either Sophie or Juliet asked her, "This was the dress you were supposed to wear to the wedding engagement party." And Aiden said, "No, this is the dress I'm wearing right here." And then Luke guy said, "Yeah, they said you came in a wedding dress." And I was saying, "Oh, no, no, no. She can't upstage the bride." And then Aiden said, "No, Stansbury is going to be Stansbury, and I'm Aiden, and I'm Aiden, and I like to dress over the top, and sometimes I don't fit in." And so she was throwing, even Luke didn't catch the slide shade that Aiden was saying. She was saying, no matter how Lisa dressed, Lisa's never gonna outdress her. And she said that in a confessional. And then after that, it got to the part where Aiden had mentioned to Stansbury that one of the doctors that was at the party was a fertility doctor and an IVF doctor. And she said, "Yeah, I know him too." And she said he's gonna do the IVF stuff for us and stuff. And then so that's when Sophie said, "Well, do you think that's gonna be good for you, Stansbury? Remember you had a difficult pregnancy with the twins, and then Sergio gonna jump up and say that's what because she had twins, and that's why it was difficult." She was saying, no, she already had difficult pregnancy. And then that's when Stansbury said in her confession that she has pre-chlamydia and stuff like that. And she said even though a doctor gave her the okay where she could have a baby naturally, she just don't want to go through that. And then they were saying, "Well, you know how to do the IVF stuff." And then Lisa was saying, "Well, if you're a single person, they really don't want you to have no baby or go through all that stuff. It's illegal. You got to be married." He said, "Oh, it's illegal." She said, "Yeah, it's illegal in Dubai." And then he's talking about, "Well, with the IVF stuff, all you got to do is take something out and put something in." And Sophie said, "No, it's not like that, Sergio." And Lisa said, "No, it's not like that, Sergio. Sergio just wants to have a baby. He don't know what's going on with women's bodies and stuff." And then after that, the scene went off. This is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. I am out.